You know, some people travelled incredibly long distances with the hope of getting some money, supposedly falling from the sky. Uh, a few nights ago, I watched a news item on our local TV news here about a publicity stunt made by this company that seemingly made quite a genuine promise, but boy, did they fail to deliver. A company had promised New Zealand's first mass cash drop, and we're dropping $105,891.40. So that's around about $74,500 US in value from the sky. Yes, actual money will be flying. Instead, actually, what happened, it was fake money and discounts for offerings at their online store. There was anger, there was violence, and there was a mass of huge disappointment. Hearts full of hope were just sickened. And our Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern said that I cannot fathom how at any point someone would think that this is a good idea. Clearly, it was not. It has caused harm, it has caused hurt, and they should apologise. And if you want to watch actually a full news item of this item, come over to turningthepage.co.nz and read the blog post, and you'll see the clip of it. But basically, it's the snake oil salesman promise, isn't it? The online marketing promise that whatever you want, you will have if you just do this new thing. It's the preacher promising prosperity if you give and pray and read your Bible every day. It's a sparkly lights of a gambling machine. It's the dream of things will be better tomorrow if you dot dot dot. It's hope deferred. And you too, I love you too, saying, yeah, she's a promise in the year of election. You know what I mean, hey? Oh, sister, I can't let you go. Like a preacher stealing hearts at a travelling show. That's from Desire, you too. And you reach for the sky and to try and grasp the money, buy the magic lotion, give the offering, you pray louder and longer, and then when the promise is not fulfilled, there are the words that come and haunt you. You don't have enough faith. You have sin in your life, or you just need to try harder. So you try again and again and again, and the heart, that seat of the emotions, becomes cynical, fatigued, and in one word, sick. And there's a verse in the Bible that talks about this, and it says in Proverbs 13:12, hope deferred makes the heart sick, but a desire fulfilled is a tree of life. And I wonder how much of one's sadness, depression, angst is the sickness of having a hope deferred over and over again, like a putting off of the sense of being fulfilled to another day. Your emotions get built up, only to be disappointed yet again. So a happy face is put on, and off we go again. And surely and slowly, the heart gets fatigued about life. We give up the dreams of a better tomorrow and become highly cynical about anything presented as a tree of life. You know, protesters march in frustration of broken promises. Protest songs become the mantra of a sickened heart, and we defer to another time the feeling of a hope fulfilled. There's a story in the Bible, and there's this young woman that gets married, a desire fulfilled, and she has two sons, desire fulfilled, and her husband dies. It's grief, there's loss, but she still has two sons to care for her. The two sons get married, great, desire fulfilled, but both sons die, and hope takes a huge knock. And all that is left is herself and her two daughters-in-law. One of the daughters-in-law leaves and the other stays. And of course, this is the story of a woman named Naomi. Hope's built up, then to be dashed. But a loyal commitment is made by one of the daughter-in-law, Ruth, to stay with Naomi and help her. to live in the now of whatever will happen next, whatever might befall them. She's going to be committed. And she says, where you go, I will go, and where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, your God will be my God, and when you die, I will die, and I'll be buried. She and Ruth returned to Bethlehem, Naomi's hometown to begin with. And it says that, so the two women went on until they came to Bethlehem. And when they arrived in Bethlehem, the whole town was stirred up because of them. Woohoo! What? Naomi's back. And the woman exclaimed, said, can this be Naomi? And Naomi said, don't call me Naomi, which means pleasant. Okay. She told them, call me Mara, which means bitter. So don't call me pleasant, call me bitter. Because the Almighty has made my life very bitter. I went away full, but the Lord has brought me back empty. Why call me Naomi? Why call me pleasant? The Lord has afflicted me. The Almighty has brought misfortune upon me. And look, Naomi was bitter and angry and was holding like up a protest sign to God. Angry at God. Hope was gone. Anger was in residence. And there was no tree of life being fulfilled in her. But if we skip just a few years ahead in the story, we find Ruth married and passing over a young baby to Naomi to hold. And this particular baby will be part of the lineage or family tree of another baby, Jesus, that will save the world. And so there's a desire fulfilled. And out of that providence of what was in her now, something good and delightful emerged. Look, I think we all have moments when we think that life is not fair. Possibly that God has not come through with the promises of blessing, abundance, tree of life, and we get angry at God. We shake our fist at God. We shift from being pleasant, Naomi, to bitter, Mara. And in focusing in on the real pain that we're experiencing turns us away from the Ruth, the friendship of today. Did you know that the name Ruth actually means friendship? Isn't that beautiful? That in that time of heart sickness, there was a friendship. Now, look, for many of us, we might experience a great deal of loss and have no Ruth-type people around us. Friends might well depart or avoid. But I believe that there is something bigger going on. There is an invite to live in the now of what I do have. Look, if someone says count your blessings, I want to throw something at them. Oh, count your blessings. Be thankful what you do have. Be more grateful. List out all the things you have got going right. Oh, look, when people say this, I feel that I have failed. Again, that I'm ungrateful, that it's my fault. But see, what they're doing is I've been phased. I've been fixed, advised, saved, set straight instead of being known. And like this is an avoidance strategy used by them to not enter the reality of another's pain, real pain. They don't want to be a Ruth, a friend to your Mara, to your bitter pain. They don't want to go where you will go. They rather stand at a distance and give you supposedly wise advice and counsel. I think Naomi would have felt let down yet again. Look, the compassionate friend. Instead, there is a friend in the living of the now. It's the heart seeing the smallest of hopes of what can be seen in this day, this moment. It's noticing the provision of a blessing in this moment. Look, as I wrote this morning here in this room, it had rained quite heavily overnight, and all the trees and the grass had a good wash. And the bird life was singing, and the land just felt refreshed. And I watched the light bounce and sparkle out of a drop of rain on a leaf, and I sipped my coffee, and I savoured the tones of the coffee and the aroma. I watched a small bird hop into our kitchen, steal away one of the dog biscuits. And we've got a small little yappy dog, and she just slept on, unaware of the crime. Look, in one sense, I am counting my blessings, but in a deeper, more meaningful heart way, I'm entering into the blessings of this present moment. See, counting implies a logic-based reasoning. reasoning. If I have these number of blessings, then life can't be that bad. This mindful, meditative approach to friendship, Ruth's of the moment, goes way deeper. It invites an awareness, a shift in focus into the now. And look, when we shift our focus away from the bigger hopes to the smaller hopes fulfilled in the now, I think our life is actually turned upside down. We enter the Jesus world of widows' mites. Now, this comes from a story of Jesus where he and his disciples were sitting outside the temple, and they were just sitting across from the offering box where people would come and put in their little money, or the money. And the story goes that they were sitting across from the offering box, and he, Jesus, was observing how the crowd tossed money in for the collection. And many of the rich were making large contributions. You could hear the sound, the coins jingling. And then one poor widow came up and put in 2 small coins, a measly 2 cents. Jesus called his disciples over and said, look, the truth is that this poor widow gave more to the collection than all the others put together. All the others gave what they'll never miss. She gave extravagantly what she couldn't afford. She gave her all, and I think of how she lived in her now and wanted to worship with what she had. In our world, we will be wooed to focus on the big hopes fulfilled, the big coin, the 5-year plans, the goals of this and that, building a kingdom and a glory of our own making. But Jesus points us to the heart and love of a widow giving a few small copper coins. It's in the hope of the small. Look, I have a dream and a hope and a desire for my future, but it's in the here and now that I find the tree of life giving its fruit for me. I watch for the roof and the copper coins of today. Look, don't defer your happiness for another time. See it and enter into that which is right in front of you today. Perhaps one day in the future you will find yourself holding an awareness that something truly beautiful has happened or given birth. And going back to the Ruth story, right at the end of the story, it says, the woman said to Naomi, "Praise be to the Lord, who this day has not left you without a guardian redeemer. May he become famous throughout Israel." And they're talking about Ruth's husband, Boaz. "He will renew your life and sustain you in your old age. For your daughter-in-law," this is Ruth, "who loves you and who is better to you than 7 sons." I love that. Better to you than 7 sons, has given him birth. Wow. Then Naomi took the child in her arms and cared for him. The woman living there said, "Naomi has a son." Well, it was Ruth's son, was it? No, Naomi has a son. And they named him Obed. He was the father of Jesse, the father of David. And you can follow the lineage right down to Jesus. Look, a hope fulfilled, but not in the way she had believed in. Here's some quotes for us to think about. True spirituality is not about running away from desires. It's about going into the heart of them. Rob Bell. Desires shape not simply what we get, but much more importantly, who and what we become. They shape our very being. It's from David Benner. And Rob Bell says that despair is a spiritual condition. Despair is when you fall under the belief and conviction that tomorrow will be simply a repeat of today. He also says that boredom, cynicism, and despair are spiritual diseases because they disconnect us from the most primal truth about ourselves, that we are here. Richard Rohr says that a good journey begins with knowing where we are and being willing to go somewhere else. Rick Hanson, he says that what's the most important minute in life? It's the next one. There's nothing we can do about the past, and we have limited influence over the hours and days to come. But the next minute after minute after minute, is always full of possibility. And J.R.R. Tolkien, something completely different, Fellowship of the Ring. The world is indeed full of peril, and in it there are many dark places, but still there is much that is fair. And though in all lands love is now mingled with grief, it grows perhaps the greater. Beautiful, eh? Some questions. Number one, where have you experienced a deferring of hope? Number two, what is a blessing of the now you can friendship with? Number three, are you protesting against something? What is the invite Jesus is giving you? Hey, I hope you found this helpful and something got stirred up in your heart about living in the now and finding the blessing in the now. Love to hear from you. You can email me at barry@turningthepage.co.nz. And just a big thank you to those people who give little widow's mites. Just a few copper coins. They're beautiful. I love copper coins. If you want to help support Turning the Page, just so appreciate that. If you come over to turningthepage.co.nz/support, and there's lots of ways in which you can be part of the team helping us. Okay, thanks very much, and we'll see you next week. Okay, bye.